Keeping you informed. This is In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS.
Welcome to In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS. I'm your host, Amanda Tempel, and I am here with Steve Lindauer and Dave Flynn. Welcome to you both. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
So you guys, you are with the Southern Indiana Leathernecks. And before we dive into what you've got going on for Memorial Day weekend, Steve, will you tell us a little bit about the organization?
Well, the Southern Indiana Leathernecks is a detachment of the Marine Corps League, and we are a nationwide organization, probably worldwide organization. I might point out that the colonel over here, he's the HMFIC of the Leathernecks, and that basically that acronym, military is full of acronyms.
They are.
That one is the head male or female in charge. I believe
Right, the commandant.
Something like that. Yeah, commandant. So with the colonel here, and he and I have been doing a lot of this stuff lately. The Marine Corps League is a national organization. We do Toys for Tots. You'll see us around, and we're really a veterans advocate is what we try to do mostly. And so we're involved in a lot of different things, which will come up here in the interview just a little bit more, but that's kind of what we do.
And, we are coming upon Memorial Day weekend. For a lot of people, this is a very important, very special weekend. It is not just about grilling out with your friends. It's very important.
Correct.
It really is. And that's the thing is we ask people to remember, what Memorial Day is for. I mean, yes, it's the start of summer, and yes, it's the start of a lot of things. But it's a chance to really step back and remember all the men and women who have really paid the ultimate sacrifice, so we're able to do that.
Right, and you guys are doing that through a variety of events. Tell us what you've got going on this weekend.
Okay, Amanda. Well, this weekend, Saturdays, May 24th at 10 o'clock on the square here in Jasper, the Dubois County Veteran Council will hold their annual Memorial Day Remembrance Ceremony. We shut down the square for about an hour, hour and a half, and we go through a number of different programs and things to honor veterans, who have passed away. We pay attention to, the veterans who have passed away since last, Memorial Day, and then we take the time to honor a Dubois County veteran each year, homegrown hero who has passed away. And this year, the Marine Corps League is lucky. One of our members was chosen, Dennis Englert. He's a retired Marine Master Sergeant. 22 plus years, grew up here in Jasper. He's a 1969 graduate, went to Vincennes University, and then did 22 plus years in the Marine Corps, and then moved back here. And throughout his life, worked here in Dubois County and helped the community.
And I bet that can be kind of an emotional ceremony, I would say.
It is. It's kind of cool having been personally involved with the family. I know a little bit about it. Their dad was a U.S. Marine and fought in some of the battles during the Pacific in World War II. And Dennis, of course, I think he was one of the oldest ones in the family. He joined the Marine Corps. And then Dave is still in the Marine Corps League with us. Dave, if you're listening out there, kudos to you, sir. He went in as a private, came out as a captain, so he's been on the radio with us a time or two. So it's typical of Dubois County, not besmirching any of the other counties around, but we've got way into our fair share of veterans and military personnel within that come from our county and actually from our end of the state.
Yeah, Southern Indiana historically has a very strong military tradition, and really around Memorial Day and Veterans Day, you see it if you go to a cemetery. I mean, it's just a sea of flags. Yeah. No matter if you served, for a day or 30 years. I mean, the military tradition throughout the county and in all of our local communities is very strong.
That is great. That's something we take pride in. Now, again, with this ceremony, is that something that the public, they are invited to attend?
They are. We work with the Jasper Street Department and Parks Department. We have bleachers. We do ask people to bring bag chairs just in case the bleachers are full. The streets are blocked off. We have very good support from the county commissioners and the county council here in Dubois County. They're very supportive. And the city of Jasper, and in the past when we've had to do this in other towns like in Ferdinand or in Huntingburg or other places where there's memorials, everybody's opened up and really always helped us. So yes, it'll be open to the public, and we'll be recognizing, and this sounds bad in some ways, but it also, reemphasizes why we do it. There's been over 122 veterans within the county that have passed away in the last year.
That's quite a high number.
That's a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. Which goes back to my previous comment about that. We're very flush with a lot of veterans, a lot of military personnel. I might put a shout out. I was just talking to people. I'm involved with some of these other things. There's a lot of people, specifically Dubois and Celestine. Since we in 2006 we lost Corporal Eric Leakin, and shortly after that was Alex Twiskey, and there's a few other ones, and that seemed to really bolster. Yeah, it just there were kids coming out of those two areas, just about 10 kids every year, every graduating class. So a salute to that end of the county. They've done more than their fair share of supplying.
Well, and also with graduation coming up, and not knowing all the graduates that have volunteered and enlisted. I mean, a big shout out to them, because again, it's a big step. I mean, it's something that as a volunteer military that you want to do. It's not something you're forced to do.
Right.
So for those young women and men that are taking that next step, I mean, congratulations.
Absolutely. And remind us one more time, what time does this start?
This will start at 10 o'clock on the square in Jasper. Our state senator, Daryl Schmidt, will be our guest of honor, guest speaker. And then luckily, since the bills are passing in Washington, our Congressman Mark Messmer will be back. He will play the taps and the national anthem for us.
Okay, so that is going on this Saturday. You said 10 o'clock, right?
10 o'clock.
Yes.
All right. So what else do you have going on this Memorial Day weekend?
Well, there's a lot of things all over. Actually, it starts, Friday night already, where there's various veterans organizations that will pick out and Dave, you probably speak on this a little bit better than I am, since he's kind of in charge of all this stuff, but pick out various cemeteries or portions of, and that group goes out and will place flags out there. And we encourage people to participate in that as well. Dave and I have done it a few times. I know the Marine Corps League, VFW Legion, they're all very active in it. And we bring our kids out there sometimes. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. My grandson's in the Civil Air Patrol. He's going to be in uniform. He's going to be out there with me, and it's neat to watch these kids. They learn stuff a little bit more than, like you said previously, like Colonel said, it's just not about barbecues and hamburgers and things like that. Although that's all important, you should celebrate that. But give a little time, just a little time, and come out and join us on the square, or maybe join us to help putting flags out.
Right. All the organizations throughout the county. I mean, with the Dubois County Veteran Council, we have 13 military-affiliated organizations. We got, 5 American Legions, 3 VFWs, Navy Club, Ships 90, the DAV, Marine Corps League. I mean, really a good cross-reference of all services. And Memorial Day obviously is a big time for us. And
right.
Cemeteries throughout the county, and not every cemetery. And what went in the paper yesterday, I mean, I offered my own personal phone number and things that if somebody knows a cemetery that's not being represented, to either call a veterans organization or call myself, so we can get them and work them in, because it's divided out because there's way too many for just one organization.
Yeah.
But with that too, and it's just another thing that the county supports us on. I mean, they have a stipend that they provide the Dubois County Veteran Council to buy flags, and we divide those up with the organizations based on the count of veterans in all the cemeteries that we do each year. We put those flags out, and then a lot of times, a couple days after Memorial Day, we'll go back and we'll collect them and save them to use for next year. I mean, some people have flags on their families' graves, all year long.
Right.
And, that would be great. I mean, it's difficult because of mowing and weather.
Makes
and
it
also,
for maintenance.
For disposal of a flag. I mean, we hate to see flags getting ran over by the mower or thrown in a
Right.
trash can or anything like that. And so these organizations will use and reuse those. And then, again, this is supported by the county council and the county commissioners. And those are given to us to use, to help honor, the people who are buried here, who grew up here, everything else. So
right,
yeah,
and
it's
great
very
to
important.
have, and it's great to have that community support
It
as
is.
well. And Steve, you were talking about bringing children, grandchildren out. That's such a great opportunity to teach these younger generations why we're putting the flags out,
Right.
why this is going on. That's a great opportunity for them.
Well,
There's
just-
also a good segue. Excuse me, Kurt.
No, go ahead.
There's a good segue. He talked about some of the flags that might have been disfigured or mowed over, whatever. Coming up June 14th is Flag Day, so that's just
Right.
right around the corner this next month. And we have a thing going in at the 4-H Fairgrounds,
Right.
which that's a flag disposal. They are disposed of in a very ceremonial way.
Again, that's the Dubois County Veteran Council. Friday, June 13th is when we do our ceremony. It'll be 1800, 6 o'clock at the 4-H Fairgrounds. We've done it every year for a number of years. Yeah. Now, an organization is in charge of it, and flags can be brought into veterans organizations or even brought out there, and given to the veterans, prior to the ceremony or during the ceremony. And these flags, we go through a ceremony honoring the flags and why they're being disposed. There's a proper way, either through burning them or burying them, and different ways to dispose of flags or to reuse the flags, which we do in a number of different ways. So again, that's just another way that your Veteran Council is trying to assist and be seen in the community. I mean, we want Veteran Council and veterans organizations to be seen, helping. I mean, we do funeral ceremonies, we provide scholarships, we do fundraisers and stuff, and provide a lot of support within the community to our veterans in nursing homes and the widows of veterans and dependents of veterans. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
There certainly is, and so much, that I wasn't even familiar with. So I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because there is just so much you're doing. We've got the birthday ball. That is coming up soon, too.
Yeah, that's in November. And
that is. I mean, I'll say this: a lot of the service branches will turn 250 years old
Not
this
just
year.
The Marine Corps,
not the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So I got to give a shout out to the Army, because they're kind of the first in line.
Right.
Even though the Coast Guard and Navy would dispute that, but their birthday is coming up here in June. There'll be a big parade in Washington D.C. It's the one that the president speaks about here in the middle of June. And then followed by the Navy in October,
yeah,
and then the Marine
be a little
Corps.
bit more obnoxious about it. Is all.
The Marine Corps in November. November 10th is our birthday, 250 years.
We're going to have a big one this year.
We are. We got a special VIP guest, Senator Todd Young.
Okay.
It will be our guest speaker. He's a Marine officer as well.
Yeah.
And then the governor will be there. Our Congressman Mark Messmer will be there. Our state congressman, Steve Bartles, Shane Lindauer, our state senator, Daryl Schmidt, a number of our reps through the different cities in and around, not just Dubois County, but the Marine Corps League covers a 9-county area. So we've been inviting mayors and dignitaries from each of the cities, the commanders up at Crane. We'll be inviting the commanders of the National Guard units in and around us as well. I mean, it's going to be a big to do.
And we open this up. It's not just Marines. We're opening our arms to our sister services, and we encourage them to come join us. And I'm the MC, so I'll make a special notation and make sure they are recognized. If you can still get in a uniform, Colonel, can you get in yours?
I can get in a uniform. I don't know if it's mine.
So if you can get in a uniform, please do. It's a fun. If you've never been exposed to anything in the military, anything at all, if you want to come out and see what it's like, it is respectful. There is a ceremony, very military ceremony that goes on. Then after that, it opens it up, and it's a good meal. We got a band playing.
As some of our members say, there's music, there's dancing, there's cakes, and there's swords. So take your pick on how you have your fun. But Steve did bring up a good point about stuff. It's not just about the Marine Corps or whether you're Army or Air Force, especially with the veterans organizations, because within these organizations, you got a lot of lifeblood of the community, and the lifeblood of the organizations are people who join, and not just join as members, but join the affiliate pieces as associate members or auxiliaries or sons or daughters or, whatever you want to call it, the Legion Riders.
The Legion Riders, right.
All of
Good
these
example.
things to all of the organizations, that's how they stay viable to the community. It's not that you have to join and do everything that unit or that organization does.
Right.
Just having
pick
members
one thing and help us out.
Or just pay your dues and keep the organization alive, at the state and the national level and different things like that. So like all organizations, I mean, whether it's church or any of our affiliate fraternal organizations in and around, I mean, membership is important to all of them. And being veterans, we cross-pollinate. I mean, I have a pretty long list of organizations I belong to and try to help where I can. You can't do everything, and no one expects you to. It's just being there when you can, as you want, and also showing your family and your relatives and your grandchildren and everything like that, what it's about.
Absolutely. And, you talked about getting involved. I'm looking at this list of things you guys gave me. There's so many ways to get involved, so many activities, events. Before we wrap things up, anything you want to touch on before we wrap everything up here? Any other activities we need to know about?
Might mention briefly, we just had our last honor flight. And I know y'all had an interview covering that just this, I guess, a few days ago. Wanted to mention, shout out to those guys. That's been a great one. Operation Mind, Body, and Soul. We got, you want to talk about Boone just a little bit?
Boone and Janelle Taylor, again, Dubois County, local folks here. Boone's a Navy veteran, so we don't hold that against him.
Submarine veteran.
So he's a submariner. He says he's the good Marine, the submariner. And there's a number of other submariners here, but, they have a place here called Mind, Body, Soul Corporation in the River Center, 2 River Center, and that's a organization that supports veterans. I mean, wide range of stuff we do. The key thing about the River Center is that's available to veterans 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We have a gymnasium in there. We have snacks, books, movies, all kinds of stuff that a veteran or a veteran's family, go with them or whatever. They just need a place to decompress or have some alone time or sit around and talk like this to other veterans. I mean, that's available, and that's just a little over a year old. We started a year ago in March and had big success, a lot of community and business support. Home Depot, Jasper Group, Jasper Engines, and I know I'm missing Jasper JC's, a ton of people that have went out of their way to make these organizations better suited to help the community.
Yeah, and Boone's, I'm not sure if he's certified or whatever. Boone, I apologize if you're listening to this. I'm probably not giving you the correct accolades, but Boone has helped a lot of people with, he's very much an advocate for suicide awareness, not suicide, but helping guys and gals that need that may need to get away, and
PTSD, suicide awareness, all that type of stuff.
Last spec I heard, we're losing 21, 22 service members a day nationwide because of PTSD and because of suicide. So one is too many, and Boone is stepped way out ahead of it. And that's a big part of his business with Operation Mind, Body, and Soul.
It is. And one of the last plugs in it, a lot of times people don't think they've done anything while they're in the service. And, you joined the service. I mean, that's all you had to do.
Right.
And, whether you're National Guard, Reserve, anything, whether you're in for an hour,
you took the oath.
In for your life. You took the oath,
right.
And you helped do something for this country. So, we remember our fallen veterans now. But don't forget, the families, the dependents,
right.
the widows. I mean, the companies that
we
help us.
We were married while we were in the military, and I can't say enough.
They're in as much.
They are very much so, and that separation every 3 years where they're transferred out, and the kids making new friends all over the place. And I was only in 4 years, but you were crazy enough to do what,
23 almost.
23
on active duty, and I was married the whole time, still married now. My wife Jan puts up with a lot.
Yeah.
There you go. And I'm so glad that you did mention Boone with Operation Mind, Body, and Soul, because if our listeners don't know, here at WBDC, so we've got the big country showdown coming up on Friday, June 6th. Every ticket that you purchase, a portion of the proceeds, they are going back to Operation Mind, Body, and Soul.
Really?
So we are so excited
Awesome.
that we are able to, give back to the community, because we know there's so much great work being done. So that's a plug. If you've not got your tickets, come to our studio. Now's the time. Come to the studio. $15 each. We'll take cash, check, card, whatever you got. But we are very proud to have them involved this year with the showdown.
Fantastic.
Very excited about that. Steve, Dave, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course, I know you guys will probably be back in, hopefully throughout the year, and we can talk more about all this stuff.
We got more stuff to chat about. I know. We bypassed security today, and
they'll let us back in.
Yeah,
we'll let you back in. Yeah. We always appreciate it. This has been In.form on WJTS and 101 Country WBDC.
This has been In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS. Catch past episodes on our social media pages and our websites. If it matters to you, it matters to us. In.form.